Today we've got 16 of the craziest dinosaur hybrids I've ever seen in my freaking life, dude, going up against the craziest dinosaur hybrid I think that's ever been created. It's about to get crazy as hell around here, toxic and competitive. I can't freaking wait. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to Goji Center, and let's get into it. All right.
On July 22nd, 2024, a nightmare was unleashed that could end an era of mankind. This creature sent ripples across the planet, and the internet took it as a mission to eliminate this animal. Many failed. Many currently think they succeeded, but only a select few might have actually accomplished surviving and defeating the pale horse of pestilence and death.
Someone did it?
These were the final 16 of the Great Hybrid War, a competition set out to challenge daring, aspiring geneticists to research, craft, and study fictitious hybrids composed of real-life animals, with the end goal of surviving and defeating a 2.0 in single hand-to-hand combat.
Woo!
Out of the more than 1,600 submissions, very few would have been able to kill a 2.0, with even fewer displaying creative body types, high congruence, excellent genomes, and unique combat methodologies that earned them the spot in the final 16. To keep this list interesting, the research team at Goji Center HQ handpicked the creatures that would perform best in a 1v1 matchup against the 2.0, featuring some very unique builds, as you'll soon see. In the next few episodes of the Hybrid War, we'll narrow these down to 8, then analyze the final 4 hybrids in the last episode, bringing forth the winner of this competition. To determine the hybrid spot in the final bracket, the hybrids will be placed in 4 separate groups, depending on their overall build, with Group A through C consisting only of same builds, and D being a mixture of the remaining 8 with different overall builds. This is to prevent a sauropod versus sauropod or theropod versus theropod evaluation early on in the knockout rounds. A live drawing will be broadcast to all channel members, where we will live stream this drawing to determine which hybrids will stand off in the evaluation rounds.
Oh my god.
As this bracket closes in on the finalists, you'll find that we'll become even more harsh when evaluating these animals.
Damn.
Yes, even the final 16. The final will truly be the best out of the best at defeating the 2.0.
I've got 2 notes. 1, when he said the pale horse of pestilence and death for half a second, I thought they meant me. And 2, how do we bet on this crap, dude? We need more gambling in our lives, you know what I mean?
Without further ado, let us begin with hybrid number 1, Predator Rex.
Ooh.
This theropod hybrid submitted by Godzilla fan art can be described as a large but not oversized theropod, combining the traits of a variety of predators, modern and prehistoric. Also known as Vega, the hybrid marches into battle almost like a mirror of its opponent. Strong jaws, powerful limbs, armor,
it looks freaking awesome.
Brought to bear. Looking at its genome and how they were used, this creature turns out being a highly resilient combatant with straightforward but practical weaponry. 9 contributors make themselves present, similar to that of the 2.0, using the real-life paleo-accurate T-Rex, Megaraptor, Utah Raptor, Komodo Dragon, Chimpanzee, Pangolin, Honey Badger, Vampire Bat, and Limpets.
The hell's
a
a
combination
Limpets?
of strong jaws and claws that was coupled with dexterous forearms that were built to cope with the size and strength. This hybrid will be placed on spot A1 and will patiently await its opponent in the evaluation round.
Oh man,
Hybrid
intense.
number 2,
So much on the line.
Monstretherium brutalis,
What?
with a name meaning brutal, monstrous beast.
What?
This creature stomps into the platform with a total of 9 genetic contributors, using the Megatherium and Shentungosaurus for build and size, chimpanzee, thylacoleo, domestic pig, Indian pangolin, African crested porcupine, scalyfoot gastropod, and limpets.
What the hell's the Limpets? It's the second time it's come across. Second, using a Shantu, gangster move, bro. Gangster out of the ballpark, geniusisms right there.
This is the first chiefly mammalian hybrid on this list. This ground sloth on steroids combines raw power with the more armored skin and quills of pangolins and porcupines. Further augments by the massive Shentungosaurus help it cope with its large size and give it time to leverage its claws and teeth for their best use. One big reason why this creature was selected was an interesting detail that may or may not have been intentionally leveraged by its geneticist at Just a Betotus. While studying the genome, we identified a big issue. Scaly-foot gastropod and limpets were seemingly a clever choice when using it to augment the armor of this animal. However, mentioning that this also reinforces the bones makes possible for this hybrid to suffer from blood poisoning from all the iron leaching into the bloodstream. Isolating this augmentation only to the skin and teeth could avoid this, but thankfully, apart from adding this buff to mostly the skin, the hybrid also contains domestic pig, contributing to its immune system and ability to reroute toxic buildups. This alone saved this hybrid. This non-sauropod heavyweight will await a rival competitor in spot D1.
Oh my god.
Time to look at one of the big hybrids of the final 16. Hybrid number 3, Aratus Gigantis, the armored giant.
What?
Perhaps one of
They
the
got dope
simplest
names.
yet most effective genomes in this competition's sea of submissions, consisting only of Ferropelta, Stegoros, vampire bats, and Argentinosaurus as the base genome. This creature, submitted by geneticist Al Wall, is the most straightforward example in this list of being simple but practical.
See, someone in my Discord had some ideas like this too. I always felt like it was kind of cheaty. I respect it. It's totally for the, it's in the rules, so it's not cheating at all. Like, it's not exactly a scary hybrid in any way, shape, or form, but if something had to 1v1 it, then it'd be an issue. I don't know.
This giant quakes the earth by stomping into the arena with surprisingly few augments, when the objective was just to put extra armor and spines along with the bolstered immune system of a vampire bat.
I mean, come on,
top
it's
of the
freaking
same
huge.
genome this creature enjoys. You don't need much when building on top of possibly the most powerful land animal to ever exist, the colossal titan that is Argentinosaurus. To fight anything, the objective is simple. It may not seem like the fastest, and it may take time to land any major hits, but with sheer bulk and armor, it might well weather the storm and lead to a literal crushing victory. This hybrid will sit and wait for the next round on spot B1.
I'd hate to be the one who has to fight that thing, dude.
Triceratops Barbaricus. The savage lightning-horned face is our first ceratopsian to enter the final 16, consisting of Triceratops and Alamosaurus working together for base and size, Ankylosaurus, Southern Mammoth, Stagonelopus, Scelidosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus, Stegosaurus, Alamosaurus, Beaded Lizard, and Common Limpet. If there was anything in nature that could stand up to the Tyrannosaurus and win, it was a Triceratops. And the 66-million-year-old grudge is revived with this bruiser stepping into the ring in front of the 2.0. Geneticist Mean Green Good to Go brought us an augmented trike sporting a wide variety of armored dinosaurs to keep it protected from head to toe.
Pretty beautiful.
Allosaurus for mass and thermoregulation, Mexican beaded lizard for added defense, and interesting addition of venomous bite to a ceratopsian. We'll park the horned menace in spot C1. Armor seems to be a common theme in the final 16, and rightly so. Hybrid number 5. The appropriately named Armored Titan may not have the plot armor Reiner enjoyed, but it might not even need that. The hybrid brought by Connor the Dinosaur Man comes stomping into the analysis platform with a modest number of 7 contributors. Diplodocus and Argentinosaurus for base and size, Armadillo Lizard, Megatherium, Fruit Bat, Whiptail Lizard, and Tree Frog.
I feel like the Argentinosaurus is going to make a big appearance in a lot of these just because it's obvious to choose the biggest, like, land dinosaur, you know what I mean? It's a clever strategy. I just feel like a sauropod's not going to extinct the ecosystem, and originally it was supposed to be like an ecosystem extincting hybrid, you know what I mean? But now it's just about killing the Indom, but it's still awesome.
The second sauropod Earthshaker on the list uses Diplodocus for reach and tail swing speed, with Argentinosaurus for added size and bulk. For close range, a set of sharp claws will make a crushing attack even more lethal and messy. Armored lizards and bat DNA add some valuable resilience inside and out. Whiptail Lizard and Tree Frog mean that in isolation, the Titan could breed at alarming rates and limit the time it would be a vulnerable juvenile, as long as sufficient food is laying around. The long neck was selected for being a versatile hybrid for its many methods of attack, but may not even need that many with an armored whip capable of cutting lesser animals in 2. This hybrid will be placed on slot B2 and eagerly await the round of 16. Next up, one of the most creative designs on this list, hybrid number 6, the Spino Venator, also known as Akira, the Spiny Hunter. Brought to us by Yokomation Studios, this hybrid consists of a genome that proves that size isn't everything.
It looks too adorable to win.
Weasel, leopard, jaguar, pallid bat, grasshopper mouse, barn owl, North American porcupine, Cape porcupine, Kia parrot, and honey badger.
What?
At only 6 tons, the fluffy assassin is a lot lighter than most other theropod entries. However, this particular attack methodology will prove that being lighter in this case may prove advantageous. Highly intelligent and equipped with the big clawed mate, the most mega of all megaraptors, weasels, panthers, and carnivorous grasshopper mice add on to the claws and teeth while giving Akira the ability to create its own painkillers to stay in the fight.
Ooh.
Fluffy but armored, the 2 species of porcupine cover it in bristles and quills for added defense that pricks back. Akira will sit on spot A2, taking the 2nd spot in the group of theropods.
I don't know, man.
Hybrid number 7 is a menace from another terrace. The Valkyoptera Hygeia is an example of how simple can also be dangerous and effective, and its creator Dionette being an example of a bold geneticist bringing a seemingly unconventional lightweight flyer into the arena. One that doesn't even weigh 1 full ton, but with an attack that can inflict a ton of force.
I respect this kind of stuff so much. It's so obvious to choose a sauropod, this kind of thing, where you have to be damn near indestructible. To go with this kind of thing, ballsy, bro. Ballsy as hell.
The modified pterosaur is built upon the form of the most robust flying apex predator to ever live, Hatzegopteryx. And we appreciate avoiding using the overly used fanciful attack methods that could backfire, like spitting venom or burning acid. Instead, the addition of pileated woodpecker helps reinforce the beak and skull for strong pecs that could potentially crack bone.
Damn.
Lappet-faced vulture helps to buffer up the immune system as well as ramp up aggression. The bald eagle gives the pterosaur an extra weapon most flying reptiles lacked by enhancing the leg muscles and giving it a set of talons across the feet whilst also enhancing vision. Finally, the streaked tenrec, a distant relative of elephants of all things, helps to bolster the defense with some strong but very lightweight quills. These quills also give it a unique war cry to confuse its enemy. While flying, this animal could produce a high-pitched sound called stridulation. This is the last sound many lesser animals will hear right before the pteroraptor lands on its prey and inflicts the first and final blow. The Valkyopteryx will perch on slot D2.
Perch.
We have now reached the halfway point
Good
of the
stuff.
final 16. Number 8 is the complete opposite of a lightweight ambusher. The Ferropelta brings a large but relatively congruent gene pool of contributors whose main strategy against the 2.0 is defense. Geneticists Omega Pictures brought us a ceratopsian with an ankylosaurid base, almost a dozen other armored dinosaurs adding on to it. From deflecting armor of Gastonia to the optimized tail club of Anodontosaurus. Other members of the genome increase defense, buff up the internal structure, the modern-day African bush elephant and macaw for increasing intelligence and decision-making, and Mylodon claws for better grounding and offense. Its stance is one of the best in the hybrid war, making it close to impossible to tip over or attack the belly of this beast. Ferropelta is the second and last ceratopsian to make it into the final 16, taking spot
That's
C2
probably for the best.
before the next evaluation round. Hybrid number 9's genome and the use of its genetic contributors wanted a spot on this final list. Neifag Eversur, the destroying nemesis eater. Brought forth by geneticists at Pixel Studios, this uncanny theropod of a different breed apparently never skipped arm day.
Oh, I might be cheering for this thing now. That looks ridiculous, bro.
While some dinosaur genes are present, the addition of Dinokairos, Allosaurus annex, chimpanzee, and the giant baboon Dinopithecus left this contender seriously jacked, with talons for slashing and arms for grasping. Extra armor from the Ankylosaurus zool and the Chinese alligator help protect the flanks and major body parts, all while the Tyrannosaurus jaw structure combined with Acrocanthosaurus give it a muscular body and strong jaws. A unique and clever addition to Nemi was the use of Megalodon. Its cartilaginous aspect of the skeleton helps bolster the cartilage present on this hybrid, providing extra shock absorption and other benefits. Brawny and resilient, sheer strength helps make up for any decrease in agility. Neifag will back itself up into the third spot, A3 in the theropod build group of hybrids.
Group A looks gnarly so far.
Another large animal present in this roster of hybrid monstrosities is hybrid number 10, Mundasaurus, geneticist LC99's hybrid. The universe reptile stomps into the competition with another small yet congruent genome.
Oh, hell no, bro. How are you getting past this thing? It's got spikes on every available corner.
Featuring the Apatosaurus, Shunosaurus, the well-known Argentinosaurus,
Argentinus, I knew it.
and a possum.
All over the
This
place.
medium, or some would say a small sauropod, initially sounds like a bad idea compared to prior titans, but at 30 tons, Mundasaurus still has more than enough mass to throw around. The muscular Apatosaurus genome is back for revenge after what the Indominus Rex did in Jurassic World, granting it a body that is both brawny and yet with a huge reach. Taking on the tail-clubbed sauropod Shunosaurus for an optimal weapon and Argentinosaurus for bolstered size and armor, this hybrid has some fantastic congruency for picks within a single family. Kentrosaurus further adds to the armor on the outside, and an unexpected addition in the Virginia opossum gives resilience to both bacterial infections and venoms on the inside. Fun fact, these innocuous marsupials are actually extremely resistant to venom, able to hunt venomous snakes. They are also one of the only mammals completely immune to rabies and numerous other viruses. Mundasaurus will take the third slot in the sauropods list on B3 and will await the next round to begin.
All right.
The genome of hybrid number 11 is the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Geneticist Nacho Pups brought us a highly congruent theropod with minimal additions with other sources. Theropod Rex, a combination of extremely agile Tyrannosaurus, lightweight but efficient armor from several types of Abelisaurs, and the claws and shredding teeth of several Carnosaurs. Built on top of the Carcharodontosaurus base genome, there is plenty of efficiency out of the gate. Dexterous arms from orangutans further help with grappling and leveraging those teeth and claws. Theropod dinosaurs dominated the big carnivore role in virtually every ecosystem for over 100 million years for a very good reason. Simplicity and practicality are some of the best policies in the Great Hybrid War. This hybrid snags the last spot in the theropod builds group, leaving only 5 spots left for the round of 16. Time to show a unique hybrid, and one that may come as a surprise to most people. Maybe even the creator geneticist Chris Wobsevenson. Hybrid number 12, Giganttherum. A name meaning gigantic beast may be more suitable for an animal other than an ape.
They all look like monster furry people in those freaking black and white sketches they all get at first. I've been holding that in for way too long, bro. They look terrifying.
Especially given that these animals have some pretty strict limits on how large they could get. However, the creator cleverly found a workaround, using the monster sloth Megatherium as a base and Gigantopithecus for ape-like traits. This 8-ton Goliath is the genius bruiser of the competition.
Oh my
With
god.
multiple contributors for intelligence, such as elephants and orca, its combined instincts, if used correctly, could give it enough smarts to leverage weaponry granted from other contributors. All while flexible pangolin armor helps keep it defended from head to toe to weather hits as it bashes, bites, claws, and brings weapons to deadly purpose. If wielding the right weapon or tool and leveraging dexterity, this creature could pull off a surprising win against the pale menace.
You just know Goshi Center's holding in all the weaknesses. Like, oh, they've already calculated weaknesses for all these. Like, actually, your DNA makes them have tiny little nuts, and that's what my Indom 2.0 is gonna you know what I mean? Like, it's we're hearing all the strengths, but soon we'll hear the weaknesses.
The ape hybrid will settle along with the other exotics in D3 and await the next round.
Oh.
Hybrid number 13 is a pleasant surprise. Something born of the Mesozoic, but not just of dinosaurs, stomps into the platform. Patterned after the sauropod-like crocodilian relative Silosuchus, geneticist DB4's Lucano Ventor is augmented with strong body armor from other crocodilian cousins and armored dinosaurs.
They all have such humanoid eyes.
And intelligence round out a body bolstered with size and thermal regulation thanks to the Alamosaurus. Resilient, simple, agile, and practical with no major weaknesses.
Winning, bro.
This hybrid
There's no way.
combines surprising resilience with exceptional reach and agility. Armored and yet quick, it can both tank hits as well as go on the offensive with charges and swipes to either push forward with an offense
huge.
or fall back on defending. Lucano Ventor will fall to position on slot D4 and watch the last 3 hybrids take the remaining spots. The hybrid war was flooded with many unique submissions, but a hybrid that clawed its way to the final 16 with one of the few clever methods of inflicting venomous bites was number 14, Arctosaurus Hordidom. The bear reptile submitted by geneticist KC1401 actually uses the ancient croc cousin from the Mesozoic, The body of the biggest land predator the world had ever seen outside of dinosaurs, Fasciolosuchus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Kodiak bear further augment mass and muscular distribution along the body and jaws, increase senses, and those bear arms will be no joke at this scale. Here's the interesting part. Gila-monster DNA was added for a practical venom attack without having potentially breakable snake fangs. This creature's added benefit of scaly armor works in tandem.
That is pretty clever. It's a clever thing to do.
Provide protection. The scrappy Wolverine further enhances its resilience, as well as those killer fangs. The robust brawler is not the largest, but definitely one who can swipe, claw, and wrestle before landing a devastating bite that just might refuse to let go. Its lighter weight helps this bruiser keep the agility it might need in a confrontation. The bear reptile takes slot D5 and patiently awaits its rival.
You know what's weird? The Indom 2.0 is smaller than like 98% of these so far, but Goji Center doesn't seem very worried about that. I feel like it's gonna have to do a lot with like a temperature regulation eventually.
There are only 2 spots left in the final 16, and now we'll reveal the last sauropod to squeeze into this group of powerful builds.
Theropods are just too overpowered for this kind of thing.
Christus, aka Behemoth. Name meaning Heavenly Titan of Christ.
What?
Submitted by geneticist Casuarius, the creator of this hybrid submitted what might have been one of the biggest entries to make it this far.
You can't tell me there's any possible way the Indom 2.0 is gonna kill this thing. How? How in the hell is it going to freaking get on that? Like, it's got so many spikes all the way up to its head, then its head's got spikes, it's got butt spikes, tail spikes, shoulder spikes, no freaking ankle armored spikes. It's like, just no way.
Clad in spiny armor built upon the Argentinosaurus as well, Behemoth thunders into battle with a menagerie of extra armor from familiar sources.
Tyrannosaurus and Argentina? My god.
And several types of ankylosaur for extra plating and spikes. It also has wedge-tailed eagle vision and flying fox traits that enhance its immunity to various bacteria and viruses. Being this heavy means sacrificing maneuverability. However, at this scale and being this well defended, all of its vitals are well off the ground, and any part in easy grabbing or biting range like the legs or belly is coated in defenses or spikes.
87 tons.
Anything it crushes, it will destroy. The last righteous sauropod earns its spot in this group on slot B4, leaving only just one. You may have noticed that the last remaining slot resides in the unique builds group. This entry made it to this list not only because of its prowess and build, but to the merit of its creators, who decided to use an underrated herbivore family as the base, hadrosaurs. Meet the last entry to the final 16, Yamabrontorax maximus, or as its creator geneticist Hardy Maximus names it, Gilgamesh. Believe it or not, this hybrid was built upon possibly one of the most powerful land animals to ever exist outside of the sauropod build, Shantungosaurus.
Shantu, hell yeah, baby, hell yeah.
Perfectly hits the sweet spot between size and speed. Gilgamesh is agile enough to easily keep pace with faster opponents and press the attack.
I think I gotta cheer for this one just because it's named Gilgamesh. Like that, I think that's a demon's name, but it's such a badass name that it's just cool.
But having more than enough mass to leverage its weight and power into crushing
T-Rex
blows.
gorilla.
What it lacks on major obvious weapons, raw force from impacts can more than make up for it. With long legs helping with a straightforward charge, the spiny armor further augments every blow and attack angle. In close quarters, these could prove devastating. Any attempt by a rival to grapple, restrain, pounce, or climb atop runs the heavy risk of getting thrown off and trampled before the body whips around for a crushing hit.
Well, damn.
These, ladies and gents, have been the top 16
I think
entries
Group
of the
D might be the
first
coolest,
hybrid
actually.
war. Coming up, the 16 competitors will wait and see where they will be placed in the final bracket. This event will be live streamed for members at a future date. The resulting bracket will be publicized
Better join
and the
up.
real tournament will begin. First, narrowing the contenders to 8 hybrids that can fight the 2.0 more effectively and pull off more wins. As we move on to the grand finale, the final 4 will face serious scrutiny, laying bare their flaws and weaknesses that could cost them their life. At the end, only the strongest will rise victorious, marking the end of this hybrid war
Yeah, cool
and
that
the
looks.
beginning of a new era.
Oh, wow. Spectacular. Spectacular stuff. Thank you, Emily Stepp, for drawing all this stuff. You're freaking awesome. There's a whole lot to digest or dissect. I don't think I'm going to be pooping any of this out. I'm getting my words mixed up. I do have massive respect for a lot of these. Obviously, I don't have as much respect for anyone choosing Sauropod just because it's so easy. It's so easy. Like, especially everyone uses the Argentinosaurus. They look amazing. They're really cool looking dinosaurs. It's just for the concept of like a hybrid that would extinct an ecosystem. I just can't necessarily see a theropod being that. I guess they're so slow. They're so slow, for God's sakes. The entire fight is dependent on like the Indom 2.0 charging the sauropod. Obviously, it would never be able to catch the Indom 2.0. Basically, it's all dependent on the Indom having the balls to go up against anything, which it's going to, so it's fine. And they didn't like exclude sauropods or anything. They were totally allowed, so I'm just being stupid. It's just my own thing where it's like they're so big and unstoppable. But anyone using the Shantu, gangster move right there. A lot of these, I just have no idea how the Indom 2.0 is going to come out on top, but I feel like they have a lot of freaking, there's going to be some powerful downsides to these genetic makeups on this list for sure. I think that's how Goji Center is going to win, is pointing out the flaws in each of these and then exploiting them. It's pretty genius. See, my idea was still initially some kind of dinosaur horsehair worm, which basically makes the Indom 2.0 go to water, where it'll crawl out of its butt and then kill it like they do to like praying mantises and stuff. I'm very happy I didn't enter in this thing. Either way though, leave a like on the video, subscribe to Goji Center, become one of their members if you guys want to see this before anyone else, and I'll see you next time.